and this was my very first OkCupid date. I had what was called a fuck it list when I got into this. And the fuck it list that I made for myself, which consisted of all of the people and types and combinations that I had yet to experience and that I wanted to experience. The very first guy I met was one of the headless dudes. It was just his torso. And he's like, yeah, I have a work problem. I can't really be seen on a dating site, which is ridiculous. And he offered, he's like, but I could send you pictures of myself before we meet if you want to. I'm happy to send it. And I was like, no, I don't want to see your face. I just want to I just want to do this, right? Like, it seemed so exciting to me. And he was super good looking. Like, there was no reason for him to hide his face. And then we hooked up that night, but that was my first OkCupid date.
Did he mind telling you what he did for work?
No, I didn't ask. I didn't care. I was there to have sex with. I was there to check it off the fucking list.
I was on OkCupid on and off for years. I signed up for Tinder and I lasted about 6 hours because I need to be able to judge someone's interests and reading level. And pictures alone are not good enough for me, so I deleted Tinder.
You know, my mom made a good point. She's like, Justin, this is the only app that people pay for, which means they're very serious. And she was right, but they're really serious because most of them are in their 80s and they're not going to be around much longer. Like, I've gotten enough, like, winks from septuagenarians to start, like, a sudden bingo game in my apartment. These are very nice guys, but, like, you know, I'm getting messages from 80-year-olds, and I'm like, it's not my time yet.
Sometimes there's, like, 6 guys who are actual, you know, like, men who are having a conversation with you. And then there's, like, random Joe Schmo who's just like, hi, what's up? And you're like, okay, I don't know, like, and then you look at his profile and you're like, okay, this looks like someone who might just being like, hey, do you want to meet me, and do the thing, and I'd be like, no. So, there was a point where I put in, I forget which profile it was, but I put like, I won't have sex with you on the first date. Like, I was very, like, put that in there, so if you read my profile, you know, just don't even message me.
I think I'm quite rubbish at texting. My girlfriend asks me all the time. She'll send me a message. I'll respond like pretty quickly the first time, and then I just won't after that. And she always asks me, "Do you like text and then like throw your phone across the room?" So I'm pretty and I think just from my experience with all my my straight male friends, they are pretty garbage at it also.
Some of it's kind of a bummer. I think it's really changing the way that we date nowadays. But I mean, a lot of the stuff, it all goes back to like even how that Facebook co-founder has been saying that he thinks social media is ripping apart the fabric of society. Like, I would just say I think technology is neutral, and so people can use it the way they want. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people who aren't on certain apps. There's some people who are just on like the dating apps and they want to date. There's some people who are just on like the hookup apps and they just want to hook up.
I'm Lori Cheek, and I'm the founder and CEO of a mobile dating app called Cheeked. Cheeked is an app that differs from all the other dating apps because it gives our users an opportunity to break the ice in the real world. So it works via Bluetooth technology, so it connects people within a 30-foot radius. So that means if you get a ping that someone's on the app, they're right there. So you should look up off your phone and pay attention to who's in the room.
Tell me a little bit about the blog you had started.
So jamiedates.tumblr.com, and it's not the only Tumblr or blog out there about what it's like to be a woman dating online, but you get all of these horrible messages. So I would just take screenshots of the messages and I would anonymize them, which sometimes in retrospect I wonder if that was the wrong choice and I should just like put people on blast, and if anyone who knows you sees you, maybe they could tell you what's up. And I would just post the screenshots and then add my commentary to the message that they sent me. You know, all the shitty ones that are just like, hi. I'd make a post of just 10 of those. Hi.
And I was just like feeling sort of not a lot of self-confidence in the dating sphere. Kind of for fun, see what would happen if I made a fake profile that made me look as unattractive as I possibly could. And I guess my rationale was sort of like, if somebody can be attracted to me at my least attractive, then it's not all lost. So I set up a profile on Match.com and I put on glasses and my retainer and I made like a side ponytail. I tried to answer each question on my profile as what I thought the least amount of people would be interested in.
There were a lot of circumstances or a lot of dates. There were a lot of examples of me going out on this date, and since I went through that really long stretch of nothing happening romantically, where I would put my all into that date, and I'd put all my eggs in that one basket. And this was a couple of dates. I went on like maybe 5 or 6 dates where I was like, nothing's happening. Maybe this is it. So I'd put all, and I'd get so emotionally invested in that girl that I went out on that one date with. And this happened a couple of different times. And then, you know, sort of having the rug pulled out from underneath your feet. So that's been pretty much my experience with online dating, and I found that the few experiences I've had just meeting someone organically, for me, go a lot better.
So one night I was out to dinner with another architect, and he'd slipped his business card to a woman as we were leaving the restaurant, and he'd written on the back of it, "Want to have dinner?" And I had this light bulb idea about creating this deck of dating cards that you could slip to strangers that sort of took the business out of the business card and made it all about dating. So they had these funny pickup lines on them, and they had a code. So I could hand you one of those cards at a bar, and maybe it says, "I just put all my drinks on your tab." And hopefully you have a sense of humor, and you type in that code and find my online dating profile. So that's sort of how my business started. I've always been a huge networker. I've also been a major matchmaker in my network. I've gotten a lot of people married. So, I mean, just by accident, but there was something about making people connections for me that has always been in my blood. And here came this idea, and I built it, and then I was like, goodbye, degree in architecture.
And I wrote a whole bunch of weird things like, has a collection of rubber ducks, they all have names, and then I named all of them, and then I said that my interests were not going anywhere and staying inside and sometimes watching movies by myself. And then I put a few pictures of me looking really bad in this like character that I created, and I got a few responses. Oh, and I also should mention that I put like really bad grammar throughout the whole thing, and it was really shocking. There were 1 or 2 people that were like, "You're not like all the other girls on this site." I ended up chatting on like AOL Instant Messenger with one of them for a few minutes. That's as far as it went. They really wanted me to go on one of the dates, and I was tempted to do it as like a social experiment, but I think I was just like, if these people really want to be on a date with this kind of person, like, who are they? What I was secretly hoping is that somebody would see through this fake profile and would be like, that's really funny. I want to know which person wrote this fake profile.
But I had a lot of experience finding like jobs and apartments and actually a dude on Craigslist previously. So I feel like I had a really good foundation for like being able to suss out the bullshit. So while I went on some dates, I never went on a date where I was like, this guy's a piece of shit. Because if I thought the guy was a piece of shit, we weren't going out in the first place.
So we went on a date, and it was a bar that was empty in the East Village on a Friday. It was a terrible bar. And it was lit like a diner. There was bright fluorescence, not good alcohol, just like... And then the date was extremely boring. I was looking for polite things to say so I could say I went on this date, and that was it. And at the end of the date, he's like, "So, do you want to do this again sometime?" And I was like, "You know what? I don't think so. You seem really cool, but I don't think there's a connection here. I didn't really have fun." And he goes, "Well, I didn't notice any gaps in conversation." He was trying to convince me that our date was good, and I didn't notice it. You deserve love. I'm just not the person you're looking for. You should date someone who is extremely excited to see you. And I'm sorry I'm not that person, but that's not my fault, and that's not your fault.
Again, would you use them again, or you don't think so?
Probably not. I might just throw in the towel. I might be gay, like, actually. I might give it a try. I might, because that seemed to have the potential to work out pretty well. I feel like the universe is always trying to tell me that I'm gay, and I'm trying to fight back very hard, but I do love my girlfriend at the moment, so very much. So here's to hoping that works.
So the person that I created, the character that I created through this profile ended up being just a really fun comedic character for me, and ended up using that character later in a web series that I made called Life of Prudy. It still exists on YouTube. And the first episode of that web series was about this character going on a series of awkward dates with people who really don't like her. And that was the budding of this really fun character that stayed with me for quite a long time. Yeah, I would say I met 2 significant people through online dating. One is my fiance, and the other one is Prudy.